If your dog treats one person like an absolute deity while completely tuning out everyone else, it is not because that person hands out more treats, and it is definitely not because they are the alpha or the pack leader. After 20 years studying canine behavior and brain dynamics, I can tell you that dogs do not choose their primary person based on bribery or dominance. They choose based on a hidden cognitive mechanism called communicative predictability. In this video, we are unpacking the real neuroscience behind why your dog chose their favorite human, and I am giving you the exact 3-step adjustment the rest of your household needs to make today so your dog starts listening to everyone equally. Let us shatter the 2 biggest myths in dog training right off the bat. Myth number 1, the person who feeds the dog gets the loyalty. If buying love with hot dogs actually worked, every veterinarian and dog walker on Earth would be a canine god. But you've probably seen it yourself. Mom buys the high-value freeze-dried liver, feeds the dog every single morning, and yet the dog spends all evening staring intently at Dad, who barely gives out 2 treats a week. Why does this happen? Because while dogs are driven by food, food is merely transactional. It creates temporary interest, not long-term focus or attentiveness. And then there is myth number 2. The pack leader myth. For decades, outdated popular media taught us that dogs only respect the dominant alpha. Modern neurobiology has completely dismantled this theory. Domesticated dogs do not spend their daily lives trying to conquer your living room hierarchy. They are not looking for a boss. They are looking for clarity. Here is what you have to understand about the canine brain. Dogs are incredible energy conservators. Deciphering human behavior takes massive cognitive effort for a dog because we communicate primarily through complex verbal language, which is completely alien to their natural biology. When someone in the household is unpredictable, constantly repeating commands, changing their vocal pitch, or giving mixed signals, the dog's brain quickly realizes, processing this person requires too much work, so they tune them out. Listening is not about affection, it is about predictable outcomes. So, how exactly does your dog pick their chosen one? Through my research, it comes down to 3 specific psychological drivers. First, emotional and physical predictability. Dogs have an extraordinarily sensitive amygdala, which is the region of the brain responsible for processing emotions and detecting subtle threats or inconsistencies. The chosen person your dog follows around is not necessarily the person who plays the wildest games or gives the biggest hugs. In fact, excessive erratic physical affection can actually overstimulate a dog and cause them to create distance. The chosen person is usually the human who displays the most steady, grounded energy. Their body language is predictable, their spatial boundaries are consistent, and their emotional baseline does not swing wildly. To a dog, predictability equals safety. Second, the silent cue effect. This is where most dog owners run into trouble. We live in a culture where we talk to our dogs as if they are human roommates. We say things like, "Hey buddy, do you want to go outside? Come on, get up. Let us go sit by the door. Come here, come here." To a dog's auditory cortex, that sounds like background white noise, a continuous stream of meaningless sound waves. Psychologists call this auditory fading. When you repeat words endlessly, the brain tunes them out to prevent sensory overload. Now look at the person your dog actually listens to. Notice how they communicate. They usually speak far less. They use clear visual posture, direct eye contact, and single-word cues spoken once in a calm, flat tone. Because that person uses language selectively, their voice retains high value. When they speak, the dog pays attention because the signal-to-noise ratio is crystal clear. Third, the critical socialization window. If you brought your dog home as a puppy between 8 and 16 weeks of age, developmental psychology plays a massive role here. During this critical neurodevelopmental period, a puppy's brain forms deep neural pathways mapping out who represents primary security. If one specific person was responsible for guiding them through novel experiences, vet visits, or scary thunderstorms during those early weeks, that imprint remains etched into their emotional brain for life. Even in adult rescue dogs, a similar phenomenon occurs. The person who was present during their first 48 hours of decompression in a new home often becomes their psychological anchor point. Now let us diagnose why the rest of the family is getting completely tuned out. If you are the ignored person in your home, you are likely falling into one of three common psychological traps without even realizing it. Trap number 1. Tone-matching failures. When a dog does not listen the first time, human instinct tells us to increase our vocal pitch or raise our volume. We go from saying sit to high-pitched pleading repetitions like sit, sit down, sit for mommy, sit. In canine psychology, high-pitched repeating vocalizations signal excitement, instability, or frustration, not authority or direction. When you raise your voice pitch, your dog does not think, oh, I should sit. They think, this person is emotionally dysregulated, so their command is not reliable. Trap number 2. Inconsistent follow-through. Imagine this scenario. Person A asks the dog to get off the couch. The dog ignores them. Person A sighs, gives up, and walks away into the kitchen. 5 minutes later, person B walks in, says off, and calmly guides the dog off the couch. What did the dog just learn? The dog learned that person A's words are merely optional suggestions with zero real-world outcome, while person B's words carry real meaning. Every single time you give a command and fail to follow through, you are actively training your dog to ignore you. And trap number 3, the micro-bribe trap. When family members feel ignored, they often resort to standing in front of the dog with a treat held directly in front of the dog's nose, coaxing them to perform. This is not training, it is a bribe. When you bribe a dog, they only comply if the reward in your hand outweighs whatever else they find interesting at that exact second. The moment you don't have cheese in your hand, your influence drops to zero. Here is the good news. Canine behavior is flexible. Your dog's brain is constantly forming new neural connections based on present-day feedback. If you want the ignored family members to become trusted leaders, your entire household needs to implement this 3-step protocol starting today. Step 1. Implement the say once, prompt next rule. From this moment forward, every single member of your house agrees to give a vocal cue exactly once, not twice, not 3 times. You give the cue, for example, sit, in a neutral, calm voice. You wait 3 full seconds for cognitive processing. If the dog does not comply, you do not repeat the word. Instead, you immediately supply a gentle physical prompt, such as luring with a hand gesture or utilizing a leash gently to help them complete the action. Once they sit, you mark the behavior and reward them. This teaches the dog's brain that ignoring your voice is impossible because a prompt always follows immediately. Step 2. The value transfer protocol. Currently, all the highest value real estate in your dog's mind is tied to their favorite person. We need to systematically reassign those rewards to the ignored family members. For the next 2 weeks, the favorite person must step back from life's premier activities. They no longer put down the food bowl, they no longer clip on the walking leash, they no longer throw the favorite tennis ball, and they do not open the front door for backyard access. All high-value life rewards must now flow exclusively through the ignored family members. Within a few days, your dog's brain will rewrite its reward prediction pathways, associating these key family members with life's greatest moments. Step 3. 2-minute neural microsessions. Do not force ignored family members to engage in long, exhausting 30-minute training sessions. A dog's focus drops rapidly during long sessions, leading to frustration for both human and dog. Instead, have the ignored family member conduct 2-minute microsessions twice a day. Simple tasks. Practice 3 rapid sits, 2 hand touches, and a quick turn. Keep the energy calm, precise, and highly rewarding. These short, successful interactions build confidence and strengthen the direct neural pathways of trust between the dog and that specific human. If you are the family member who currently feels ignored by your dog, please do not take it personally. Your dog does not dislike you, nor are they holding a grudge. They are simply responding to the laws of behavioral science and cognitive clarity. When you shift your communication from noisy, repeated chatter to calm, consistent, single prompt interactions, you will watch your dog's entire demeanor transform. Suddenly, they will not just stare at one person in the room, they will be looking at you for their next cue. Drop a comment below and tell me, who is the chosen person in your home right now, and which of these 3 traps has your household been falling into? If you found this breakdown valuable, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with whoever in your house needs to hear it. Until next time, keep studying the mind behind the leash.